and welcome back to Life Changing Solutions Live. I'm Angie Amico, the relationship architect for Life Changing Solutions. How's everybody doing? I was just talking to the producer. This weather is crazy and insane, and I love every bit of it because it keeps us on our toes. It's one of those things where it's just like I just go moment to moment. I saw somebody post earlier about welcome to Vegas. It's like we're in the morning, it's winter, and then you get spring in the afternoon, summer midday, and then back to fall. And the thing that makes me really think about this is how we are as people, right? We're all the same way. It's like we can be happy in the morning, grumpy in the afternoon, vice versa, and it's just so ever changing. And there's just something about that really fascinates me, and that's why I do what I do. People fascinates me. Change fascinates me. It's just, I find it so interesting, and I'm just very curious about different changes that happen in our lives, even with something like the weather. But anyway, that was just me meandering. Today's topic is really about what I'm up to. You know, I get a lot of people asking me, and I've even entered into some debates about what's the difference between purpose and your why. And thanks you guys for joining me live today. But so the conversation that I have is, you know, some will say, oh, well, isn't it the same? To some, you know, and you guys got to understand too that we, you know, and I say we in terms of coaches and speakers, we develop our material, our content based on how we see it, right? And then we deliver it and we facilitate different things based on how we understand it, trying to support others. So if you know somebody that goes with your why, absolutely go with it. I'm not gonna knock it. You know, I just want to explain my side of it. So first, I want to start with desire, because I think both the why and the purpose are a result of your desires. And it's really, what do you want? You know, it drives you into getting clear on, you know, what kind of actions you need to take and what needs to happen in your life, you know, and those are the desires, right? So even the goals, if you want to put it that way. For me, the why, that changes. Right? So it's what motivates you, and it's generally, the way that I have it, it's external. So why do I want a 4-bedroom house? Well, because I have 3 kids. You know, that's my motivator. So I want this. I desire the big home because I want to be able to have a room and house my children. So that's my why. Why do I want this? Because of that. Why do I want the career that I want? Well, because that's something that I enjoy doing. I enjoy doing this. But these things can change, right? Once my kids, who are teenagers now, move out and I become an empty nester, why would I want a 4-bedroom house? It just wouldn't make much sense. So I would want to reduce it. So my desire changes, my why changes, right? So that's how I have why. When it comes to purpose, however, purpose is the foundation of both the why and desire. It's what really, it's just what's underneath it all and what drives it all, and it comes from within. It's also a promise to yourself. So again, in using the example of why would I want a large home, right? It's because my purpose is, as a mother, is to provide shelter, right, and certain, liberties, I guess. I don't know what the word is right now, it just slipped my mind, but for my children. So the purpose there is me being a mother that wants to provide for my children and make sure that they're not only safe, but they're comfortable, is for me to get that house. So notice how that purpose of me being a mother is really what, and loving my children is what's driving me there. So when my children move out of the house, right, my purpose is not going to change. I'm still going to love my children. I'm still going to want to support them in any way that I can. It's just going to look different. Therefore, the why is going to change. So that's kind of how it works for me. The other thing too, it's I've spoken about, I have workshops that really just are completely focused on this very notion of sparking your why, right? Uncovering your purpose. Because it's not always that easy to, number one, hone in on what that is. And also, how do you live by that? So that's what I do, is I support you in really unearthing your purpose and honing into it and living your life in a way that is aligned to your purpose. Because again, the whys and your desires and the external, stuff changes. So your purpose allows you also to gauge your level of success. A lot of us define success very differently, and for me it's very broad, it's very unique, it's unique to you. And sometimes we look externally to say, okay, well, my success is based on how much money I make, or what title I have, or whatever it is, right? But for me, knowing my purpose, even if externally it may appear as a failure, I know that I'm aligned with my purpose, therefore I was successful. An example of my own life, because often I get this, it's like, well, how can you talk about relationships? You're a relationship architect and you're divorced. Okay, that's perfectly fine, right? Like, we all have some relationships that fail, some things that don't work for us, but the fact of the matter is, I stay true to what my purpose is. And without getting into the details, the relationship just wasn't working anymore. And so for me, I needed to stay aligned to my purpose, which was to no longer stay in this relationship. And knowing that that's okay too. So while some say I failed in my marriage, I feel that I succeeded in my own life in honoring myself. Purpose can also be a contract, so to speak. There's 3 words that I usually live by, and those are my contracted words. And it's integrity, being vulnerable, and being loving. And in any situation, that's how I gauge myself. Was I within integrity? Was I being honest and true and to the best of my ability? Because of course, there's times where I'm gonna mess up. There's times that maybe in that moment I'm speaking honestly and then things change and that became a lie. It's a possibility, but in that very moment, was I being in integrity? Absolutely. Have I been, being vulnerable, being honest and willing to be raw with someone, even if it's in a business, negotiation or conversation? Being vulnerable to me means like just being 100% raw and willing to say things that most people wouldn't. Loving. So am I loving myself and the other person in the moment? Sometimes I can be in an argument with someone, and it's best to honor myself and love myself and remove myself from that situation, and thereby also loving that person, because now that I'm removing myself, that person has nobody to fight with, therefore, also supporting them in whatever it is that they're going through. Or maybe it's not an argument. I'm there to support somebody else, and so I'm loving that person, no matter the type of relationship, right? It's like just being nice to somebody else could be considered as loving. So again, that for me is the foundation and my purpose. No matter what I do, whether it's me interacting with my children, me in business, me doing workshops, coaching, here today, right? I honor and live by my purpose, and I'm not so attached onto what it looks like. And that's how I was also able to disengage from what others thought, others' opinions, others' advice of even what my level of success is. I know how I am, I know my purpose, and I'm very happy with it. And so I invite everybody to really take a look within and see what your purpose is, and really start to align yourself, because your life will really open up and really start to change without you even having to do much for it. It's effortless almost. So Thank you everybody for watching, everybody who's joined me. And I'm super excited. I have a guest coming on here next, and she's coming from Boston. She's a really great friend of mine. She's a mentor of mine. So stay tuned. And if you ever need to find me, Angie Amico at Life Changing Solutions. Bye.